It started.
Okay, so we are starting today lymphatic system. Now, what are limbs? Limbs are the tissue fluids, or it is the part of blood only. So how it works means, like circulatory system only, lymphatic system also runs beside the circulatory system. But the difference is circulatory system is two-way circle, two-way system. In in circulation, blood is going to each and every cell, and it is also coming back, means oxygenated blood is reaching to each and every cell, and it also returns back from each and every cell as deoxygenated blood. But in case of
Your
lymphatic
voice
system,
is
it
not
is
very clear,
only
ma'am.
one way.
Aditi,
So
ma'am.
we will discuss. Voice is not
Can
clear,
you
is
hear
it?
me, ma'am?
Yes, I can
Yeah,
hear you.
not clear. Your voice
uh,
is cracking at times.
okay, let me change my position. Is it okay here?
Yes, much better, ma'am.
Still not okay.
No, it's much better, I said. It's good.
Okay,
It's good now. You can continue, ma'am.
okay. So what we were discussing, that just like circulatory system, lymphatic system goes beside circulatory system. Circulatory system means, I mean, blood circulatory system. Blood circulatory system is a two-way system, but lymphatic system is a one-way system. Like blood is reaching to each and every cell as oxygenated blood, and also it is returning in form of deoxygenated blood. But in case of lymphatic system, it is one way only. So let us understand this system today. So it's a small intro. All body tissues are bathed with tissue fluid consisting of diffusible constituent of blood and waste material from cell. Some tissue fluid returns to capillaries at their venous end. The remaining diffuses through the more permeable wall of lymph capillaries, forming lymph. Means what happens? Some of blood plasma get out from blood capillaries due to force exerted by heart. Means due to the force in blood capillaries, some of blood plasma comes out of capillaries, and they they become tissue fluid. Some of that plasma also return in venules or venous capillaries, but the remaining diffuses with lymphatic capillaries. Means some of blood plasma is coming out, some of that amount is returning to venous return, but the remaining is returning to lymphatic capillaries. That is lymph. Okay. Now, cardiovascular and lymphatic system both are both supply fluid flow into the body, but both are different type of fluid. Means in lymphatic system it is lymph flowing throughout the lymphatic capillaries and lymphatic vessels, and in cardiovascular or circulatory system, blood circulatory system, it is blood. The lymphatic system does not having closed circuit and central pump like heart. Like in blood circulatory system, it is a closed circuit. Means blood is coming from heart, reaching to each and every cell. Again, it is returning to heart. So it is a closed circuit. But in case of lymphatic system, it is not a closed circuit. It is a one-way circuit. It is just coming from tissue, each and every cell tissue. It's not returning to body tissues. Now, this is the constituents of lymph. At first, lymph, then lymphatic vessels, then lymph node, then lymphatic organs like spleen and thymus, and then diffuse lymphoid tissue or tonsil. These are the components of lymphatic system. Okay, at first the lymphatic fluid known as lymph, then that fluid is flowing through lymphatic vessels, then on the pathway of lymphatic system, some lymph nodes are also present, and lymphatic organs are spleen and thymus, and diffused lymphoid tissue are known as tonsils. I think you have heard about tonsils. I think you have only heard about the tonsils around neck. So we will also discuss about tonsils. Now, this is the picture of lymphatic system all around the body. You can see lymphatic vessels where they are concentrated. Lymphatic vessels are concentrated in our inguinal region, in our thoracic region, and in our neck region, right? And in our peripheral body, vessels are spreaded. Now, function of lymphatic system: return tissue fluid to the bloodstream. Means from each and every cell tissue, the tissue fluid or lymphatic fluid is returning and it is getting merged in bloodstream. It absorbs and transports fat and fat soluble vitamins from the intestine. So what does it do? It absorbs and transports fat and fat soluble vitamins from the intestine and also kills the microorganisms. Okay, now you can see just beside the circulatory system, lymphatic system is also going on.
Those little bulgy parts are the lymph nodes, man.
Yes, the bulging parts are lymph nodes. We will also discuss all that in details. So, what is lymph actually? Now, understand this clearly. After blood travels through capillary beds, means from arteries, when blood, oxygenated blood is traveling through arteries, then it is moved out the venous system. Some of its fluid is left behind in the tissues is called lymph. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear the concept of lymph?
The blood that comes to the capillary bed,
Hmm.
most of it moves into the venous system for going
Yes.
back to the heart. Whatever is left in the tissues, that
Hmm.
remaining part is called as lymph.
Yes. So actually, the total blood components are not coming out. Only some of blood components are coming out, like plasma. Like you will understand these later in next points. So what is lymph? Lymph is a clear, colorless liquid with a composition similar to blood plasma. Okay, almost similar to blood plasma. It's nothing but clear, watery blood plasma leaked out through the capillary walls to flow around the cells. So, what this lymph is containing? It consists of oxygen, proteins, glucose, and white blood cells. Okay, means the blood plasma except almost all the things except red blood cells. Okay, so it's almost like a blood plasma only. So it's containing oxygen, proteins, glucose, and white blood cells, not electrolytes and minerals and red blood cell. Now, all the cells bathed in this fluid receive their nutrients and oxygen from it. Okay, all the cells bathed in this fluid receive their nutrients and oxygen from it, means from lymph. Tubular vessels transport lymph back to blood, ultimately replacing the volume lost during formation of interstitial fluid, sorry. Yes. So what happens when, due to the pressure, lymph means blood plasma is coming out from arterial bed and forming lymph. Means lymph is forming, because of that some blood volume is reducing, right? Some of volume is coming out due to pressure. So it will make sense that blood volume is reducing a bit. So this blood volume will be um, replaced by the backflow of lymph. Means when lymphatic system is returning lymph to bloodstream, then it is completing that volume. Very simple. From blood, when the force is getting enriched, then plasma is coming out of arterial bed and producing lymph as interstitial fluid. Then when lymphatic system is being completed, then this lymphatic fluid also merging in bloodstream only. So now the blood volume is being completed again. Hmm. Okay. Now lymph movement occurs despite low pressure due to peristalsis, valves, and comparison during contraction of adjacent skeletal muscle and arterial pulsation. Okay, means if lymph movement occurs despite of low pressure due to what? Due to peristalsis, valves, and comparison during compression during contraction of adjacent skeletal muscle and arterial pulsation. Due to these things, lymph movement occurs properly. Now, how lymph is being originated? The cardiovascular system pumps blood through its system, but it cannot return all the fluid from body cells. The lymph system picks up 60% of fluid dropped off at cellular level. Now, at this point, we are talking about interstitial fluid. The interstitial fluid picks up plasma and becomes tissue fluid. Okay. So what is happening? The cardiovascular system is pumping the blood through its system, but it cannot return all the fluid from body cells. Some of fluid is getting out from arterial bed. Then the lymph system picks up 60% of fluid dropped off at cellular level. So the amount is released from arterial bed. From that amount, 60% is picked up by lymphatic system and making lymph. At this point, we are talking about interstitial fluid. Interstitial fluid picks up plasma and becomes tissue fluid. Then, this tissue fluid is then picked up by lymph capillaries. Okay, 60% of that um, blood, or 60% of that fluid excreted by circulatory system is picked up by lymphatic system, making tissue fluid. Then from tissue fluid, lymph is being made. Then this is called lymph. Now, pH of lymph is a bit alkaline, that is 7.0. Now,
What
function
is the
of,
last step after the tissue fluid is picked up by the lymph capillaries?
yes, then it is making lymph only.
Okay.
When it is picked up by lymph capillaries, then it is lymph only.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the function of lymph is lymph acts as, yes, any problem?
No, nothing, ma'am. You can continue.
Okay. So, the function of lymph is lymph acts as a middleman which transports oxygen, food materials, hormones, etc. to the body cells. Okay. So it is becoming a medium through which oxygen, food materials, and hormones are being transported to the body cells, just like blood only, and brings carbon dioxide and other metabolic waste from body cells to blood, and then finally pours the same into venous system. Okay, so it is working just behind our circulatory system. It is also doing almost similar work as circulatory system. What it is transporting? It is transporting oxygen, food materials, and hormones, and etc. the body cells, and brings carbon dioxide and other metabolic wastes from body cells to blood, and then finally pours the same into venous system. Body cells are kept moist by lymph. Okay, it destroys the invading microorganisms and foreign particles in lymph nodes. So this is a important thing in case of lymphatic system, that it destroys invading microorganisms, right? Those microorganisms which are causing harm in our body, those microorganisms are being destroyed by lymphatic system and foreign particles in the lymph nodes. Okay, now lymph vessels return to the blood of any fluids that have escaped from circulation. Means any fluid is being escaped from circulatory system is being returned from in the medium of, or through the medium of, lymphatic system or lymphatic vessels. Okay, any part of blood circulatory system is being left, then that part is being regained by these lymphatic vessels, or that part is being returned by these lymphatic vessels. Lymphatic vessels are intimately connected with blood vessels so that they can perform this function. Okay, because they are completing each other. Blood circulatory system and lymphatic system are completing each other, so they just run beside each other. So any part of blood circulatory system is left, that part is being picked up by lymphatic system and returned by returned to blood circulatory system. Now, distribution of lymphatic vessels. Lymphatic vessels travel along blood vessels. Lymphatic vessels are absent from bones, teeth, bone marrow, and central nervous system. Okay, so lymphatic vessels are absent in bones, teeth, bone marrow, and central nervous system. Now you can see here clearly the lymph nodes where these lymph nodes are being concentrated. These lymph nodes are also being concentrated in inguinal region, thoracic region, and armpits, and in joints in neck region too. This is a picture showing it is just running behind beside circulatory system. Tissue fluid is picked up from arterial bed and then making it lymph, then returning it to the blood circulatory system through vena cava or vena cava. This is a picture how here is the picture that how lymph capillaries are looking like and how lymph capillaries are collecting from blood capillaries, how they are interconnected. Now, circulation of lymph. Lymphatic trunks from the union of collecting vessels. Yes, lymphatic trunks forming the union of collecting vessels. The nine major trunks draining lymph from region for which they are named are the lumbar region, jugular region, subclavian region, mediastinal region, each of which occurs in pairs, left and right for each side of body, and fifth is single intestinal trunk. Okay, so there are nine major trunks. One is lumbar, two jugular, three subclavian trunk, four broncho um, bronchomediastinal trunk, and fifth is a single intestinal trunk. Means these four are in pair, but this intestinal trunk is single. So, for total, nine major trunks are there in lymphatic system. Lymphatic ducts are largest lymphatic vessels. These two ducts drain lymph into veins in the neck, the right and left subclavian veins at the junctures with the internal jugular veins. Valves in the lymphatic ducts at their junction with the veins prevent entrance of blood into lymphatic vessels. Okay, so valves in lymphatic vessels is preventing from entering blood into lymphatic vessels. Now, ducts or lymphatic ducts. The left thoracic duct collects lymph from left side of body and regions of right side of the body below the thorax. It ultimately drains lymph into left subclavian vein. It begins at the cisterna chili, an enlarged region of lymphatic vessel that forms following the union of interstitial trunk and right and left lumbar trunks. Okay, so the left thoracic duct is mainly governing or supplying the right side of body below the thorax. Now, the right thoracic duct collects lymph from upper right side of the body, the right arm and the right region of thorax, neck and head. A much smaller area than serviced by thoracic duct. It ultimately drains lymph into right subclavian vein. And you can see here in this picture the right subclavian vein and the left subclavian vein. The left subclavian trunk is draining the left side of head, left torso, and lower body. But the right lymphatic duct or it is draining the right side of head and right upper torso. So, what is the difference between right subclavian and left subclavian? The left subclavian is also draining lymph from the lower side of body, but in case of right lymphatic duct, it is only draining the right side of head and right upper torso, and all these trunks are finally being merged in vena cava. Now, this is the pathway of lymph. From lymphatic capillaries, it is merging into lymphatic vessels, then lymph nodes, then lymphatic vessels again, then lymphatic trunk, then collecting duct, then subclavian vein. Okay, so as like venous system, actually lymphatic system is just running beside venous system or the returning of blood, means from through arteries blood is going from heart to each and every cell. Now the returning of blood is done through venous return. So lymphatic system is just working beside venous return. So it is a one-way system and it is an open circulatory system. It is starting from lymphatic capillaries, then vessels, then lymph nodes in between those vessels. Then the vessels are being collected by lymphatic trunk or larger vessels, then collecting duct or more larger vessels, then subclavian vein, which is finally returning lymphatic flow to vena cava. Now, lymph nodes, they are widely distributed throughout the body along the lymphatic pathways. Lymph nodes are not present in central nervous system composed of lymphoid tissue. So lymph nodes are also composed of lymphoid tissue only. They are widely distributed throughout the body along with lymphatic pathways. Yeah, this slide only we have discussed now. Now, structure of lymph nodes. These are small bean-shaped structures, usually less than 2.5 cm or 1 inch in length. Three superficial regions are where lymph nodes tend to cluster are inguinal nodes or groin or in the hip region, means lower abdomen region, then axillary nodes in the armpit, and then cervical nodes in the neck. So three superficial regions are there where lymph nodes tending to cluster or concentrating. Those are inguinal nodes, axillary nodes, and cervical nodes. Inguinal are present in groin region or are just near to our gonads. Axillary nodes are present in armpit. Cervical nodes are present in our neck. Now, this is the structure of a lymph node. Okay, you can see clearly this is the structure of a lymph node where arteries and veins are also passing through. Now, function of lymph nodes. What do lymph nodes do? Filter the lymph before it is returning to the bloodstream. Okay, actually, lymph nodes are filtering the lymph before returning to bloodstream, preventing foreign particles from entering the bloodstream. Okay, what are the foreign invaders are coming in our body? All those foreign invaders and microorganisms are being filtered in lymph nodes. So, sorry. Lymph nodes also produce lymphocytes. What are lymphocytes? If you remember, do you remember lymphocytes?
Remember, I remember now, but
Yes.
you need to give a slight hint or cue, ma'am, then it'll come.
Okay. Lymphocytes are kind of white blood cells. We have already discussed so many times. Lymphocytes are type of white blood cells. So here you can see swollen or enlarged lymph nodes in our chin region in this picture. So now we are going to discuss about tonsils, cluster of lymphatic tissue. हाँ कहाँ मैम चली गई एक मिनट रुक जाओ okay so tonsils are cluster of lymphatic tissue just under the mucous membranes that line the nose mouth and pharynx called tonsils. Okay, so tonsils are just the cluster of lymphatic tissue only, and this line the nose mouth and pharynx called tonsils. There are three groups of tonsils present in our body. Those are pharyngeal tonsils, palatine tonsils, and lingual tonsils. Okay. Now here you can see tonsils. When tonsils are enlarged, we feel a greater abnormality in our mouth. So this is what we have. And function of tonsils: provide protection against harmful substances, pathogens. They may enter the body through nose or mouth. Blood supply to the tonsils are branch of facial artery, and nervous supply blood by glossopharyngeal nerve. Okay, so this is what about
Ma'am, go back
lymphatic.
to the previous slide once, ma'am.
Previous slide.
The functions of
Okay.
lymph.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
So I have to leave now only. Please conduct the ending prayer.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Sit straight, your head, neck, and spine erect. Join your hands in Namaskara Mudra. Gently close your eyes. Om सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. Now we're done. Should we end?
Yes, yes, and this is the ending of lymphatic system. It was very small, so here anatomy and physiology is ending today.
Thank you, ma'am. Please share the slides, ma'am.
Yes, I will share the slides.
Thank you,
It
ma'am.
was-
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am. Thank you very much.